What is up, Tampa Bay? Happy Tuesday, and it is our favorite night of the week because it is Tampa Talk Tuesday Live. We're talking about what's happening in Tampa Bay. If this is your first time joining us, y'all, we're happy to be with you. We talk all things Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, what it's like to play here. Cover all kinds of topics from real estate to best places to eat, road construction. If you want to know about it and it's happening in the Bay, that you've come to the right place. And I'm happy to be joined by my amazing colleagues here and my trusted team here with the True Living Group. And I'm joined by Miss Marcia Railton this evening down in Bradenton in Sarasota. Good evening, Marcia.
Good evening. Hi, everybody. Excited to be here.
Heck yeah, happy to be here with you too. It's always a good time. I'm joined by Miss Stacy Amon up. Well, technically she's in St. Pete Beach right now, but up in Pasco County. She's on a little hiatus right there. I love that. Good evening, Stacy.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
Heck yeah, happy Tuesday. And I'm also joined by the one, the only, the talented Mr. Dennis Paulette. Good evening, Dennis.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
What is up, my man? Good to see you. And Dennis is up in western Pasco County, for those of you who are wondering. He serves the entire Gulf Coast along with the team here. Happy to be with you guys. If we've never met before, my name is Juan Alcala, and this is Living in Tampa Bay, and we're happy to be with you guys tonight. So what we bring to the table here is we love interacting with you guys. So the first thing I want to do is invite all of you, whether you're joining live for the first time or you've been on these live streams with us in the past. We'd love to make this as interactive as possible. Please, please, please let us know where you're watching from. If you have any questions regarding the area, new developments, new construction, where to get barbecue, do not hesitate to ask those questions. That's what this is all about. The more questions you have, the better these shows tend to go. And we love opening it up to you. So please don't hesitate to ask. Don't be afraid. We have a welcoming community here. I've got Mr. Chris in the house tonight, who is a great client and is becoming closer. Let's put it that way. I don't take liberties with the word friend because I haven't invited Chris to that conversation, but we're making a path. And I just want to say I appreciate you, brother. So thank you very much for reaching out and staying connected with us. And I'm grateful that we had the opportunity to serve your family, and I look forward to connecting with you. Stacy, I'm going to invite them over to the beach, and we're going to go out and have a cocktail or an adult beverage with the families, catch a sunset on the beach. So I'm looking forward to that with Chris and his family.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Absolutely. We should do that while Stacy's on the beach.
I was going to say, Stacy should host something for us while she's there.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. It is great to see you too, my brother. I love it. We've got Miss Desiree. Good evening, Desiree. It is a Tampa Tuesday, and we're happy to see your smiling face as well. So thanks for joining us. And y'all, bring those questions. We've got some really cool stuff on tap tonight. Just as a quick preview of what these rock stars have brought. We're going to head up to Wesley Chapel this evening. We're going to talk to Stacy about Avalon Park. It looks like they're ready to open the doors there pretty soon here. We're going to talk about some partnership announcements between Baycare and Epperson. Then Lagoon. We're going to head down south to Bradenton and Sarasota. Technically, we're going to go to Parrish, and we're going to check out what's happening in Sierra, which is another lagoon community that's coming online down in Parrish. I'm really excited about this. There's some crazy incentives happening down there. Marcia's been trying to get this on the table for the last 3 weeks.
You guys just keep putting me off.
Yeah, and between vacation schedules, travel schedules, and just, your guys' amazing questions, we haven't been able to get to that, but we want to invite you to do that. So again, don't hesitate to bring your questions to this conversation, y'all. The more you do that, the better it's going to be. So we're excited to make sure that we're connecting with you. If you have deeper questions or you would like to speak privately, don't hesitate to reach out to me and the team. Contact information is on the screen. That number will get you to this phone right here, number one. And number two, you can go right to our website. You can schedule a time in my calendar that is most convenient for you. If you're on YouTube, that description is always down there. Please feel free to connect with us. Excited to have those conversations with you. We've got Mr. Carter's in the house this evening. Good evening, Brian. We're moving down to Sarasota next month to rent a house. And while we build a custom home, how exciting. Do y'all help with finding land and working with custom builders? Marcia, what do we do for this?
Yes, we'd love to do that. Give us a call.
You're speaking Martian language now.
I was gonna say.
She is like all about the design portion of this is her thing, man. She and you can tell who's the best dressed one here at the party, right? It's always Marcia. She's got great taste. She'll be able to help you guys through that for sure. And Brian, we would love to serve your family. More importantly, just give you some insights, give you some direction if that's what you're looking for. So please feel free to connect with us. Don't hesitate to reach out, my man. Great question. And thank you for watching and connecting with us. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Audrey C's in the house. Good evening, Audrey. We've had multiple conversations. What's up from Arizona, she says. Super random, but can y'all please give me what it's like living in a state with the big bugs and roaches? And how often do you get them in your home? This is, if we're not family now, I don't know what is, because if we don't start conversations talking about roaches, I mean, it's not a normal day. Right?
I talked to Audrey yesterday, and we didn't talk about bugs. We talked about shopping mainly.
Well, one of these things is not like the other. What happened?
Not at all.
What happened? I love that. It's hilarious. So this is a good question. We get this question often, right? Ladies, Dennis, we're in these Zoom calls, and this is a hot topic, right? People will ask about these are the most common questions that we get, y'all. We get asked about alligators, hurricanes, roaches, snakes, and those are kind of like the popular ones. Hurricanes, alligators, and insurance. Those are like the most dominating topics.
And
what was that, Stacey?
Sinkholes. Don't forget sinkholes.
Sinkholes, that's becoming more prevalent too. Yeah, we've had more sinkhole conversations as well. There are many things that Florida is known for, and unfortunately, those are a few of them. I think this is a wonderful question. I haven't told the story on the channel in a long time, but if you've watched my YouTube videos going back all the way to the beginning, when we first moved down here, and bear with me, I'm going to tell this story. When we moved down here at the early stages, we got down here. My mother-in-law brought our second car and like our kitchen stuff. And she brought one of her best friends, and they like stayed a whole week before we ever showed up. And it was in December, so they came down. It was actually kind of cool that week, which is fascinating. They couldn't figure out how to work the heat because we don't have heaters. We don't have a furnace in the house, right? Like, and our air conditioner has an emergency heat thing. Where it's basically like a radiator heat. It definitely is expensive, and you don't want to go that route. But anyways, they were cold, so they were trying to figure out how to work this out. But they came down, put all our stuff in, cleaned up the house as best as we could. And the first week we were here, I've told this story many times before, but I think this is important. And for y'all joining us late, forgive me. We will get into new construction and developments and sea air and all. I promise we're gonna get into all that stuff. But Audrey asked a wonderful question, and I want to address it. We moved down, and our very first week we were all here. My daughter comes, hauling tail out of her bedroom, my 6-year-old daughter, and she's screaming bloody murder about there's a giant bug in the bedroom. And I'm like, okay, I'm going in there, and I go in the room and unbeknownst to no one enlightened me in the fact that palmetto bugs, and that is a fancy term for a very large cockroach in Florida. Okay. I don't know where that line of demarcation stops. It could be in South Carolina. I don't know. But whoever came up with the term palmetto bug, that person should have been awarded the Marketer of a Lifetime award, because that is a cockroach. Okay. Now, I want to put this in perspective. German cockroaches that live up north, and I'm from, I grew up in Detroit. Trust me, I've seen those things in houses I lived in as a child, and homes that I went into. And those types of cockroaches, when they get in your home, there's always more than one, and you basically need to burn the house down, right? Now, palmetto bugs don't actually live in your home. They nest outside. They're outside for the most part. They will come in the house. So this is what I want.
Palmetto bushes.
Yes, that's how they got the name, right? Palmetto palms, they live out there, they do their things, but they will come inside. Now, I know I'm long-winded on this, but this is important to know. So my daughter comes screaming out of this room. I go in the room, and unbeknownst to me, like I said, no one has really informed me about what this bug is. I know it's large. I've heard them walk across concrete. That's how big they are. And I walk in this room, and I go in there like I'm took a flip-flop, because that's how you roll, right? I'm Mexican, chancla, that's what we do, right? So I run in there with a flip-flop, and this bug elevates. And when I say elevate, no one told me that they could fly. Okay. Now, they don't fly, which is the weirdest thing, Dennis. I'm still trying to figure this out. They can, but they don't. They're like chickens of the roach world, right?
They fall with style.
Dude, it's
Because
nonsense.
they do the flutter thing and kind of fall down.
Yeah. So this happens in front of me, and I'm a grown man, and the noise that my daughter made could not compare to the blood-curdling noise that I made as I removed myself from that room, right? Because I'm not into this game at all, right? So I come running out of this space, and then I go grab. It was literally like that moment of. You guys remember the movie Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd?
Yes.
I'm dating myself now, right? Where they were in the wilderness, and
Yes.
I think it was a bat got in or something, and they got tennis rackets and helmets, and like that didn't happen. But I was mounting up. I went and got a broom, and I literally, it was just one of those moments. And I go in there. And Dennis, I'm prepared, right? This time it didn't boss up at all. It didn't try to do the flying thing like it was Neo from the Matrix. That's what that moment was for me. It was just like it jumped up, and I was like, I'm going to die. This is going to happen right here. But it didn't happen this time. And I whacked that thing with the broom, and legs flew off. No, nobody told me. Hold on. No, I need to prepare future Floridians for this. When you hit these things. Y'all remember what was that game that you used to press down and it was on a timer and it was explode when you didn't get to it in time? You guys remember that game?
I do, but I don't remember what it was.
I know the game, but I don't remember the name.
When you touch a palmetto bug, that's what they do. Legs go flying. It's like shrapnel all over the place. And y'all, I was indoctrinated in a way that I was unprepared for. And honestly, it was one of those moments I was like, did we make the right decision? That thing literally was 2 inches long, and if I have to deal with this every day, we're probably packing up. None of the girls wanted to go in the room. Now, that's my palmetto bug indoctrination # cockroaches. Now, we have been here for 6 years. I have probably seen maybe 3 or 4 in my house that entire time. So pretty fortunate in that respect. We've got an older home. Our home was built in the 70s. It's not the tightest thing in the world in terms of like fit and finish, right? So there's opportunities for getting. They will try. All bugs will try to get indoors when it gets really wet outside, right? Heavy rain. They're trying to get out and save themselves. That will happen from time to time. But honestly, we treat for bugs and it's not a problem. So it's a fair concern. And I got to be honest, that moment when that thing jumped up like Neo from the Matrix, I thought I was going to die. Right. So I think it's a fair concern. It's legitimate. However, it can be mitigated. It's not that big of a deal, but it
depends on a lot of stuff too. Like if you have a lot of trees in your backyard, then you have more possibility of having bugs. If you're living, cookie cutter neighborhoods next to each other, there's fewer bugs. So
exactly.
It just depends.
Yeah, Chris said, I moved from California. We do have our house on a contract for pest control. There are a lot to watch out for, but I'm getting sprayed every month or two. So that's a great insight. And that's something to note, too. In new construction areas where you're doing a lot of heavy construction, remember, they're displacing everything, all the wildlife, right? So we tend to see a little bit more activity in those newer developments. I know that's scary. Everybody's buying new homes, but like, I'm just giving honest, transparent feedback of, if you just think about it, that makes sense, right? Where I'm at, we've been more established. I mean, my home's almost 47 years old. So like that, we don't have nearly as many bugs out here, but great question. Love that. That was awesome. Forgive me for sharing my palmetto bug story. It was one of those moments. It's funny, y'all. You ladies, you've been on calls where people have brought that story up to me, and it's been a long time.
That they remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I always like to share. Hector, good evening. Hello, California. Good to see you. Chris says he just moved from California, sharing that with you as well. What did Audrey say? This is the only thing I'm scared about with making the move to Florida. The other things aren't even close to my fear of a roach. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I probably didn't help. Right? Probably didn't help.
I think most people have bug treatment, and I don't see bugs in my house. I think as long as you keep the house clean, and you won't have a problem.
Marcia, are you saying I'm dirty?
I lived in new construction.
No,
In the
no
very
comment.
beginning, we had some activity, but nothing after that. But then when I moved to an older home, I was calling the pest people a lot because they can just get in. The house isn't as tight.
Yeah, we discovered that under our tub in the second we have a split level ranch, so it's the master ensuite and then the 3 bedrooms on the other side with that primary bathroom. Underneath that bathtub, it's dirt. They didn't put concrete. I know, right? So I'm like, what in the heck? So like, we had to fix all that stuff. So we've had challenges, y'all. Trust me. This is the game we play. Sherry says, "Don't forget they fly." Yeah, I found that out. No one tells you until you come down and find out the hard way. Thank you for that, by the way.
So you have to budget for pest control.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
Let's
Let's get into things that people should budget for who are moving to Florida. Why don't you guys cover that? I'll pull some of these comments as we're rolling. But like, Stacey, what are a few that people should budget for when they're coming down and making the move?
Pest control for one. 2, if you have palm trees in your neighborhood, you have to pay to have them come trim your palm trees.
Otherwise, they look terrible.
Yeah, and you can get fined through your HOA if you don't keep them trimmed.
And they attract bats if you don't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
What did you say, Juan?
They attract bats if you don't. That's why they want you cleaning them up.
And rats. They also attract rats because yes, we saw one jump out of a palm tree onto the top of our lanai and run towards our house.
Oh my God.
And Audrey's afraid of roaches.
Oh my gosh. Well, they charge like $50 a palm tree, but if you have several palm trees, you got to do that a couple times a year.
Yeah.
So
you can negotiate better deals. You can negotiate better deals, but that's a good point. So we're talking about, landscape. What about lawn if they're going to have it done for them?
Well,
are you saying how much does it cost, or should they
just bringing things up that people might, use on
that's
a monthly basis?
That's definitely one thing. I think every person I've ever worked with said they cut their lawn now, but they don't want to do it when they move to Florida. So I always suggest either an HOA that does it or they hire someone.
Yeah, and you got to know that you're gonna, in the summer when it's raining every afternoon, that grass is gonna grow faster than you want it to. So they're coming out every 3-4 days, not once a month.
Yeah, definitely weekly. What we typically do is weekly in the summer and bi-weekly in the winter because it's like the lawn slows down. It's still green, but it slows down. It goes a little bit dormant. You don't have those kind of challenges.
Doesn't grow as fast.
Yeah. What else? Pool.
Oh yeah, pool maintenance. Whether you're doing it yourself or hire someone, you have the chemicals and stuff that you pay for regardless.
Yep. And you have to power wash for algae growing on your sidewalks and fences and your house side of
we
your
get
house.
ours done twice a year. So they come out. Yep. Yeah, that back in the landscape, right? For power washing, we have our fence done because we have a vinyl fence and it always gets mildew on the north side, on the shaded side. And then we have them do our lanai, our walkways, and our driveway twice a year. That way we can just keep up on it. So that's a good one. What else?
Gutters. Gutters are not a standard feature here in Florida, but it's highly recommended you get gutters because it rains. The amount of rain comes down so fast, and it's really bad for your foundation.
Yeah.
So
that is something that throws people off. They're like, "Where are the gutters?" They buy a new house and there's no gutters on it. Like they don't come standard with gutters.
I had no idea.
It's an option or an upgrade. Yep.
Another expense, because it's something I highly recommend, is that you have a HVAC service. So they come out twice a year, make sure everything's running properly. And I learned, I think we were here maybe 6 months, something like that. And we didn't know to put vinegar in the line.
Oh, man.
And I had like 20 women over and it was a clothing party. So women were going to be trying on clothes and stuff. And all of a sudden I realized that our air conditioning wasn't working, and it was like 90 some degrees in my house. And so from that point on, we learned that you have to, maintain that HVAC system because it's working so hard. So you have to do more than normal.
Yep.
So I recommend that you hire someone. They come check it twice a year. They make sure that's working properly. And for how hard your HVAC system has to work, I think it's smart to always be proactive on it. So that's another expense.
Great advice. And that's a good one too, because what happens is that drain line that drains the condensation that is being pulled from the air will back up, like Marcia is talking about. I just cleaned that out this week, Marcia. I've got one of those little Ryobi like shop vac types of things.
Yeah.
And that thing was gnarly.
Yeah.
And we put vinegar in there. And then the other thing, as a point of reference there, I have a subscription through Amazon for our air filters. And I got on a bi-monthly. It sends me 4 air filters a month. I need 2 for my air conditioning unit because we've got 2 of them. And that allows me to, whenever that thing comes in, I know that I should be out, right? So I just set a reminder and I change it. During the summer and the spring, we have a lot of pollen in Florida. So it really is hard on your system. So we change our air filter way more here, usually every month during the summer season. And then I'll go to bi-monthly in the winter, just so, another point of reference to take care of that system, because your AC, y'all, there's one thing in your house that you do not want to be without. It's because it's always going to break on the weekend on a 93-degree day. Guarantee it.
Yep.
And I always think back to during COVID and stuff when it was hard to get AC systems. And I'm like, can you imagine, your AC going down and you can't get it for weeks? I'll be knocking on one of your doors.
That's right. That's right. Chris said that he gets his house sprayed every month or 2 outside, not inside, and he almost never sees bugs. That's great. That's good news. And that sounds about right. As long as you're treating, you should be okay. It's not that big of a deal. Desiree says palmetto bugs are roaches with wings. We agree. Again, everybody knew this, but Juan when he came to Florida, right? Like, I didn't ask any questions, so hey, it is what it is. So we make mistakes, part of the deal. Sassy but classy, she is in the house, y'all. I love it. She's listening while she's at work, hoping everyone is okay. We are well, thank you. What does she say? If you find a gecko in your home, keep it. They're the best pest control. I actually agree with this. My wife will not let me do that, but I agree with this. She's not interested. They always hang out in the bathroom. Right, because it's typically wet in there. Like that's the only place you get moisture. But yeah, she's right. When I lived in Louisiana as a kid, I had a very short stint. It was like 10 months, and I remember seeing geckos in the house. And my dad would say the same thing. He's like, "Leave them alone. They'll eat the spiders." I was like, "If it's eating spiders, it could stay."
But don't the snakes like the geckos?
What's that?
Don't no. Snakes like the geckos?
Maybe. I don't know.
See, I felt like when I saw a lot of geckos, I didn't have snakes in my yard. And then when they disappeared, I was like, there must be a snake around.
This is a great conversation we're having this evening about all the challenges in place.
So educational.
I'm moving away. I'm moving away. We're talking about snakes. We're talking about, forget the gators. We haven't even talked about the wasps.
We were having a conversation with somebody this past week, and they were kind of going along with this the line of like, well, we're not coming if there's no bugs. I'm like, listen, this is subtropical. Like the words tropics and bugs are synonymous, right? And the closer you get to the equator, the bigger these things get, right? We don't even have iguanas here. So, you get to South Florida, think about living in Miami, y'all. When it gets down to 40 degrees, those things start falling out of the sky, right? Like literally you're walking by a tree and some crazy stuff. All right. We'll keep it rolling. I know we got off track there. Good evening, Denise. Good evening. Love to see you. Happy to have you. Marcelo says, good evening from Virginia. Good evening. Hector says he would love to live in Florida. Where they at? Where we at? Beam Squad is going nuts. Don't know what he's talking about, but thank you for that. Let me see. Denise says, budget for pest control, gutters for some new builds, landscaping off the top of my head. Love that. She just moved into her new place, so she's right in the thick of it right now. She can help you out with that. Also, home warranty. That absolutely can be a great piece of advice. Depends on the situation with the house. Inspection reports. There's some nuances there, but I agree with that. Gutter covers are essential so they don't get clogged. That is a good idea, especially if you have like oak trees or bigger trees in your yard. They can let stuff like that go. Denise says, at Desiree, the new construction doesn't even give you gutters, let alone the cars. Great. Yeah. And this one's a really good one that Desiree mentioned as well. Let me pull this up. I love this. Water filtration if you plan on drinking from the faucet.
Yes. Or I thought of that earlier. We drink so much water from our refrigerator. So that filtration system, you got to replace a lot more. I would say a lot more often. Number one, you don't want to drink the water in Florida. And number two, it's so hot, you drink a lot of water. So that's probably an added expense as well.
Yep. That's a good one. Hey guys, I'm 22 looking for a luxury or semi-luxury apartment around Tampa that's within 30 minutes of St. Pete and close to Tampa Riverwalk. Any suggestions? Oh, the Heron is an excellent. It is the Heron apartment complex is at the base, at the very bottom of the Tampa Riverwalk, right off of Sparkman's Wharf, right there in the Channel District, right off of Water Street. So it's right in the heart of all that activity that's taking place. Definitely worth checking that out. Again, it's not a small budget monthly, but you said semi-luxury, luxury. That's a great place to start. The Addition has apartments as well. That's across the street from there. You've got one St. Pete if you want to go to St. Pete. If you're looking at Tampa, though, that's where I would start, is like the Heron. All right, so just as an example.
Very cool area. I don't know those apartments. I haven't seen them, but I love that area.
Yep. And then Derek says the mosquitoes bite hard too. Yeah, that mosquitoes always bite hard. We're not afraid of mosquitoes in Florida. We're afraid of no-see-ums. Those things are gangsters.
Yeah, people ask me about mosquitoes all the time, and I don't remember ever being bit by a mosquito in Florida.
Yeah, those things are gangsters. You got to be careful. They're there.
What about the fire ants?
Yeah, fire ants. Meanwhile, our sun is beautiful and our beaches are incredible. and yes, it is worth putting up with all of that stuff. Listen, man, everybody's got something. That's just the way it works. When I was in the Midwest, we had our own things, box elders and like gardener snakes, and like there was all kinds of stuff up there too. So you're just dealing with a different kind of problem. It's just the way life works. But I know out west, those guys are pretty spoiled. A lot of them don't have like tremendous amount of bugs and stuff. But
don't they have like poisonous spiders out west? Like
yes, tarantulas.
So I think we all have some kind of bug.
We all got something
on Earth.
Yep, we all got
this
something.
This question came from someone from Arizona, right? And when I think of Arizona, I think of like scorpions and spiders. I don't know. I've never been, but I've only been out there once, but it's crazy.
Desiree says, I got tore up by those no-see-ums last time I was there. Yeah, it happens. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's get into some good topics. We spent the first 30 minutes talking about pests. I love it. That's fantastic. Welcome to, Tampa Talk Live. This is the real deal here, guys. And if you're just joining us, we talk all things Tampa Bay, obviously. From the lifestyle to the pest, apparently. So welcome to the conversation. But I know these ladies have some real cool things to topic. Marcia, we're coming to you because we have been for whatever reason not getting to Marcia.
Putting me off every week.
Yeah, I know. We put her out to pasture, y'all. Don't tell her. Don't let her know. But just saying. All right, Marcia, what do you got happening for us down in Parrish? I know you've been on this for a while, so let's get to it.
Well, number one, I got an email today. I'm super excited. One of my favorite builders is called Cardell Homes. They build in Riverfield in Parrish, but we've been waiting for, I'd say, a year now for them to announce that they're building in Longmeadow. And I just got the email today that they are finally offering homes in Longmeadow. So in Riverfield, they only offer 3 different floor plans, but in Longmeadow, they're going to offer 5. And they're going to offer tile roofs and paver driveways. So Longmeadow area is going to be a little more upscale than Riverside or Riverfield was. So that was exciting. They start at $494,900, which you see right there. Up, Juan's put that up on the screen. Up to $596,990. Now those are starting prices, so that doesn't include your lot and your design and structural choices. So you got to keep that in mind. But they have some really good floor plans and just the feel of the homes, and I feel like they have good bones. And I'm excited that they're moving into Longmeadow. So.
And this is in North River Ranch, right? Right, Marsha?
I'm sorry.
And this is in North River Ranch, correct? Just so we can
Correct.
clarify.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I didn't mention that. Yeah, it's in North River Ranch. They're in one of the original neighborhoods in North River Ranch right now on the south end, right next to Publix. So it's in a very convenient area, but it's a little bit more crowded feeling than like Longmeadow and Wildleaf. I love the vegetation there, and it's very old Florida feeling to me, and I really like it. It reminds me of the neighborhood up by you, Stacy, that's Taylor Morrison, that I always tell you I love that neighborhood up there.
River Landing and River's Edge.
Yes, very natural, tons of wooded areas, lots of water. It's a beautiful neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And so Cardell Homes is in there. Pulte is going into Longmeadow. And I just spent some time there this weekend at Homes by West Bay. They have 6 move-in ready homes currently. So they're moving fast up in Longmeadow, Homes by West Bay, as they're the first builder offering homes there. I was there with a very nice couple and their beautiful little children. I think they're watching tonight. So they drove all the way down here from Indiana. I think they drove down on Thursday. We worked all day Friday and Saturday looking for a home for them. And then they turned around and got in the car. They spent Sunday at the beach, thank goodness, but headed back to Indiana on Monday. So we're still looking for the perfect home for them. But we spent some time in Longmeadow on Saturday. In West Bay, as you know, Juan and I love their floor plans. Yep. And they have a really pretty their main floor plan that we like, the Biscayne. I think it's called the Biscayne 2.
Biscayne 2. That's my house.
Yeah, well, they have one. It's gorgeous. They're offering it at $899,900. The only thing that the family didn't like, and I agreed with them, is that it's backed up to another house.
Oh yeah.
So that's a disappointment. Not to have a water view or preserve view. But the price was awesome for that house because they spent a lot of money in upgrades on it.
This lot here?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So that part of it was a disappointment, but we spent a lot of time there. So they have 6 move-in ready homes right now, and they're offering up to $35,000 in incentives for move-ins. Awesome. So if someone is interested in finding out more about that, let me know. Today, I paid a visit to Sierra, and I'm getting more and more excited about this neighborhood. Right now, the first builder that is in there is Dream Finders, but they're going to have Lennar, D.R. Horton, a company that bought out Biscayne Homes. I keep forgetting. I think it's like DBL or DLB Homes, and then Perry Homes. So those are new to our area. These builders are new to DRB Homes. Yeah. Sorry. But this Dream Finders, I really like their floor plans. And I found one today that's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage. And one of the things that I really like about it is they choose the design elements, but they're higher end. They just do a fabulous job at choosing the design elements. And the second thing that I love about them is they have a very large covered area outside. I always tell clients to look for that here because, I think most people, when they move to Florida, they want outdoor time. And so if you don't have a large covered area, you won't get that outdoor time because it's just too hot. But if you have, like a nice amount of space where you can make it into a living area. It's amazing. So anyways, they have that. Their lots are.
Hold tight real quick. Hold on. I want to blow past this. It looks like we got were you there? Was this model available to look at?
Yeah, they have models there.
So I'm asking because it looks like we've got a waterfall on one side of this, but this seats 5 the way it wraps around. I love that. Yeah. There's always like, you always seem like you're short, even at the big eye. And this isn't, they're seating for 6 because you can see the other plate there. Wow.
It's a huge kitchen.
Normally you do not get that setup. You usually get seating for 4, maybe 5 on the long end, but like the way that I love that. All right. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to stop you.
Something else. I don't think this is the model this is the model that I really like. It is called the Boca 2. And I like it because the floor plan, the way it's laid out is really nice. Something that the couple that I was working with this weekend, they really didn't like that the children's bedrooms were in the front of the home and they were in the back of the home. In this home, the floor plan, the kids are like in the middle. That door that goes off the kitchen, it's a little hallway, and then it has a bathroom in between the 2 bedrooms.
The Boca 2, right? That's one.
Yeah, awesome floor plan. And that one on a corner lot it's got 13,000 square feet in this corner lot, and it's listed for $764. Let me see. $765,930, and they're offering $20,000 in incentives.
Okay.
Closing in December. I'm sorry, closing in November. But if you'll go back to the kitchen for a minute, go back a little bit more. Right here. See how the kitchen, they put the tile all the way to the ceiling, and they have that really big vent. Yep. Most builders in this price range don't do things.
They don't do that. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. You do not get all the way up to the ceiling like that. That's it. It seems like a little basic touch, but they don't do it, and I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's very nice. They have the tiled or the paver driveways. So their single family homes start in the low 600s and go up into the high 700s. They're offering for closings in October, they're offering a buy down for financing, 2% the first year, 1% off the second year, and then it goes to 4.99 the third year and stays that. So. Wow.
Well, hold on. I want to repeat that for everybody listening right now. So what that's referred to as a 2-1 buy down. Okay. This is an important thing I want to note here, Marcia, because that's a huge benefit. I'm gonna highlight this again. All right. And I want to go back to what Marcia said here really quickly. Because I think you've got it in your email as well. And I want to pull that up. Okay. These were pretty popular a year ago. No, 2 years ago when rates started going back up. And here's the flyer itself. Ooh,
yeah.
Too close. Here's the flyer itself. I do want to zoom in, see if we can get it. There we go. Now maybe you guys can see this. I absolutely love this. So what this isn't is this is not an adjustable rate mortgage. I want everybody to hear me when I say this, because people are they get confused or anxious when they see a rate that changes, because what happened in 2008 scared the bejesus out of people, and for good reason, right? They were using an adjustable rate mortgage, which had no ceiling on it, no cap. It could go to whatever the rate was. This is not that. A 2-1 buy down, and I'm going to explain this program to you. The way it works is on year 1, which is what it's showing here. Year 1, the rate is 2.99%. That is a ridiculous rate. That is so low. It's insane. Year 2, your rate goes up by 1 full percentage point to 3.99%. So essentially it's a 4% rate, right? That's on year 2. And then for year 3 through 30, the rate then goes to a still discounted rate at today's rate of 4.99%. That is an awesome rate. That opens up so many more doors for affordability. Oh my goodness. And if we look at today's rate, I just want to share with you guys like what is happening with the mortgage rates. This is the 30-year fixed rate mortgage as of today. 6.11%. which is the lowest it's been since February of 2023, by the way. That is, first of all, that's great news, but that is not a 5% rate, right? Or 4.99, which is what these guys are offering. So I'm hitting this hard because that is a ridiculous opportunity, period. All right. So I'm sharing that with you guys now because I love that. It's ridiculous. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was so excited when I stopped there. Unfortunately, the house that I found for my family won't be done till November. So I already asked the sales rep, and he said, no, that's not in November. It's just October. So, but they have some really nice houses. So I'm excited about it. They're going to have 98 single family homes in this community. I'm just talking about dream finders in this particular part of the neighborhood, because the neighborhood's going to have like 3,000 homes when they're all done. And then they're going to have 200 townhomes. Their townhomes are really interesting too, because they have 4 in a building, and the 2 end homes are villas or 1 floor, and then the 2 middle ones are 2 different types of townhomes. So I found that really interesting too, and they're really nice floor plans. So I have a couple coming next week looking for a villa or townhouse. So guess where one of the places I'm going to take them. I think it'd be awesome.
That's a great opportunity. I just wanted to reemphasize, this is a lagoon community that Marcia's talking about. So this is in Sierra, which is in Parrish, Florida. I'll show you guys on the map here in a second. But we have multiple lagoons in the Tampa Bay area right now. Epperson Lagoon, that was the very first one that got opened. That was a 7.5 acre. That was like the largest man-made lagoon in the country. They opened a second one in South Shore Bay, which was Waimama. That one was 5.5 acres. Then they opened the Mac Daddy, the 15 acre up in San Antonio, which is unbelievable. That thing is phenomenal. Sierra's breaking ground now, so they're working on this. Allegedly, this is due to be open before the end of the year. We have another client who's entertaining purchasing in there right now, and they're starting to work on the Angeline Lagoon community as well. That hasn't broken ground. We haven't started sales up there, but pretty soon, Dennis and I will be bringing you all that information pretty soon here shortly, right? So he's staying abreast of that on top of it. I just wanted to kind of pull aside because this is a tremendous asset to have in your community. It's not for everyone, right? The way that we explain this to people in terms of the type of lifestyle is you don't have to go to the lagoon all the time, but it's wonderful to have in your backyard. But it does bring outside traffic. They do keep a component of this open to the public, so they can reduce ownership expenses. So there's typically somewhere between 25 and 40% available to the public. There is owner specific areas where they can hang out. They've got amenities that are exclusive to the owners of the community, but it is still public. So just kind of giving you guys some insights on the lagoons. You know, what we typically find is the people who are like huge water park fans or park people, like people who love Disney and Busch Gardens. This is really kind of right up their alley. You don't have to be that person in order to love the community, and you don't have to go to the lagoons. But I'm just trying to give you some insights, and hopefully that helps everyone. All right.
Yeah, cool. And a lot of the lagoons it's almost like a cruise ship. So they have activities that aren't water related, like right there, like, yoga outside by the lagoon, fireworks, those kinds of things, movie nights,
movies, sports. They'll play the playoff games on the big screens there. They've got all kinds of stuff. There's they have their own swim up tiki bar and a restaurant. You can go there and just hang out all day. It's awesome. It really is. There's a lot to do.
At Sea Air, I don't know how much the other lagoons charge, but it's $50 a month for unlimited household access with use of paddleboards, kayaks, swim up bar, and water slides. So it's $50 a month for that, for the whole household.
Those are included because they're not included in Epperson. Kayaks and paddleboards.
They're starting to charge like a club fee, so you can pay a club fee and have all that stuff.
That's where that additional charge came in from. That's what we were trying to figure out. Okay, so that's new. Okay, that's an insight. All right. I love that. And just as a, kind of example here, they've got Ultra-Fi Wi-Fi through the entire community. There are golf carts and bike paths through all these communities. They have their own trails and trail system there that are paved. Love these communities, the way they're set up, smart homes, all kinds of stuff. So this is great insights, Marcia. Thank you for bringing back this to the community. I love it. I know you've been trying to get this on the table for a while. So y'all, did you see those interest rates? And they're not the only ones. This is why I'm bringing this up. We have a client who just got quoted 4.99 on a 30-year fixed. That he does not have to close by the end of this month. So just sharing that perspective with you. But we are seeing our builders in Tampa Bay heavily incentivized on the interest rate side. And just real quick, I do want to bump over and talk about this before we get too far off topic on the interest rate thing. Because you guys know I love to bring you a little bit of insight on this. Let me get to this chart right here. So the 30-year fixed rate today went down 1 basis points. We're sitting at 6.11. That is a great rate. And I do have just a couple quick things I want to talk about this. The 15-year rate is at 5.6. Now, this is the average, which means people are getting lower. And of course, they're higher too. This is going to depend on your credit score. That's the first thing. Second thing is, remember, you're able to buy down your interest rate also. So let's just say you qualify for a 5.9. You could potentially buy down your interest rate to a 4.9%. That's what the builders have done. And I don't want to get too far off track here, guys. So stop me if I start getting in the weeds. But what the builders are doing, a lot of them either own their own mortgage company or they have partnered with the bank, and they have went out in advance and bought down interest rates. Like I'm saying that we're allowed to do. They've done that in advance, and they have a block of interest rates that they're going to release to us, right? So that's the way that it works. But why am I getting into this? A 30-year fixed rate FHA right now, or 30-year FHA is 5.65 on average. 30-year V8 is 5.66. Y'all, we have not seen these rates in forever. All right, so let me dig in. And I want to give you an example because this is so important. The Federal Reserve is meeting tomorrow. There's an indication saying that they're going to drop at least 25 basis points. That's my belief. They're saying they could go as much as 50. I don't know that that's going to happen. What does that mean? That would be 0.5% off the prime rate. In theory, mortgage rates would follow suit. They tend to run parallel, not always, okay? However, they're also indicating that the Federal Reserve is going to continue to lower interest rates. Now, I want to get into one more thing specifically and why this is important, okay? Last year, when I said February of 2023, y'all remember when I said that? When interest rates went down to 5.99, that was on February 2nd of 2023. Mortgage interest rates hit 5.99 after being almost 7% or whatever they were that winter. That's when they shot way up. You guys remember that? Mm-hmm. That was the winter. They went down to 5.99 on February 2nd. Here's why this is important. And I don't want to play hey, they're going to continue to come down game, because we don't have control over that. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I just want to share data. Okay. It's an opportunity window this fall, I believe. Look what happened from February 2nd to March 2nd. Interest rates went from 5.99 to 7.10 in a 30-day window. Okay. So we don't have control over this. We don't know what's going to happen with the economy. And I'm not telling anybody they should do anything that doesn't make sense to them. So please hear my heart on this. But what I'm sharing is the idea of that it's just going to continue to come down. That may not be true. So look for opportunity that makes sense to you. Get in the property. If it continues to go down, guess what you get to do as a homeowner in the United States? What's the R word, y'all?
Refinance.
Get that refi, baby. But if you can get a good rate, right, take action. So that's what I'm sharing with y'all. Hopefully that helps. I'm getting ready to refinance my house. We bought in, our interest rate was 7.15. Right now, I'm going to refi, and then I'm going to buy my rate down. And I think I'm going to get under 5. And after that point, if it goes any lower than that, thank you, Jesus, I don't ever think it will. Unless a bunch of people lose their jobs. But if it does, I'm here for it. I'll make the refi at that point. All right. So just sharing that with you. All right, cool. Marcia, great share. Was there anything else there that that I didn't let you share because you've been waiting 3 weeks to get this bad boy out?
I just think it's going to be a super community, and I like that it's in a quiet area, but it's really close to the expressway at the same time. So I think it's going to be a winner.
I agree. It's really close. 35 minutes from St. Pete Beach, 30 minutes to St. Pete, 35 minutes to Sarasota, 35 minutes depending on traffic, 25 minutes to Lakewood Ranch, 48 to 50 minutes to Tampa International Airport. It's really well located. I talk about this all the time. If you guys been on a Zoom call with me, you know I'm high on Parrish because of all the runway there.
Juan, there's a question about Parrish. I don't know if you want to hit that now. It's kind of a good segue.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Audrey says Parrish confuses me. The neighborhood looks so nice, but when I walk around on Google Maps, it seems like a nice spot, but in a very rural area. Can you guys speak to that? Interested in Palmetto too. Great question, Marcia. Go ahead. I'll pull up the map while you're covering some of this.
Well, it was nothing out there a couple of years ago. So they're just building it all up, just like they did with Lakewood Ranch. You know, they started that 30 years ago. It was all farmland. So they're building a planned city. So it's so cool because they put everything where it should be or where people would want it to be for convenience and for lifestyle. So you're right. Like if you look around at it now, it's just growing. So for the first couple of years or next few years, it's definitely under construction, but that's why it's a good place to get into now because you're going to get a good deal. And you know how quickly time goes by. Before you know it, you're going to have all this right there. So I understand what you're saying, and that's what a lot of people ask me about. I've been sharing, and I think I shared with you, Audrey, like all the shopping that's around there currently, and there's going to be so much more. Every time you go up there, there's new things. It's just growing so quickly.
So just to give you guys some quick drive times, North River Ranch, as an example, the community that Marcia has been talking about here, Sierra is just a couple minutes to the west, like literally right here. Just so everybody knows the other red dot I'm drawing on the screen right now. But it's 35 minutes to St. Pete Beach. St. Pete Beach is one of the best beaches in America. Literally has won that award, right? So like it's 35 minutes. It's off the coast. So you get new construction, 35 minutes to the beach. You're getting better insurance rates because you're further away and newer construction, which is really hard to do if you want to be close by the beach. But this gives you some of that buffer for people who are a little bit anxious about being too close to the water because of hurricanes, which I completely understand. This is a real big reason why it's just positioned extremely well. So that's St. Pete Beach. If you're going to go to downtown St. Petersburg, as an example, to go to date night, go to dinners, go to the museums, go to concerts, go to the pier to hang out. You know, that's a 29-minute drive right now. So it's usually about 30 minutes. So that's an example. If you're going to go to Sarasota from North River Ranch or Parrish, 35 minutes, like we said. So you can get down to the University Town Center Mall, all Nathan Benderson Park, all the activities they've got down there. And if you just
will you put Costco on there?
Yeah. Yes, and that I was just going to go to that same.
People ask me that a lot
all the time, right? How far is Costco away? 19 minutes, so that'd be about a 20-minute drive on a regular basis. And then also if you want to go hang out at Lakewood Ranch, because, you know, that's where maybe you wanted to move to, but you wanted to save $100,000 on average, then it's a 25-minute drive to go hang out in downtown Lakewood Ranch. So there's plenty of opportunity for you, you know, in this marketplace when you look at this. And again, when you look at the incentives on interest rates and the flex cash or the down payment assistance, we don't call it down payment assistance, but the closing cost that they're giving you in return, there's a lot of opportunity here. All right. And it's not exclusive. This is the one thing I want to say. It's not exclusive to Parrish, those types of incentives. We have all of that stuff happening up in Wesley Chapel, Land Lakes, San Antonio, Zephyr Hills. Our builders in the greater Tampa Bay area are very aggressive right now. Home values are holding steady, but they are incentivizing. So it's a way to get a deal. It's a way to get the price down and the cost down, more importantly, to make a move. So just sharing that with y'all. Audrey, that is a great question. So thank you for sharing that. Marcia, you nailed it. Wait. Thank you for bringing all that awesome information. And you got a bonus of waiting because you got great interest rates to talk about too. So thought that was fabulous.
One thing we didn't answer for her was Palmetto. She has brought that up to me before.
Yeah. Let's get to that.
There are neighborhoods in Palmetto. It's just they're going to be a little bit farther from all the shopping and things that you had talked about. Yeah. And their Palmetto, I don't believe, is in the same school system. And Parrish is known for having a really good school system.
It does. And also, Audrey, just so you're aware, a couple things. You've got the Ellington outlets right here. Technically, it's right on this side of the highway, but it's right there, right by North River Ranch. The 301 here, shops, restaurants, Lowe's, Home Depot, all the stuff. It's all right there. And you have everything happening in North River Ranch. So if that is a concern, it is in the works and it is already there too. You're only a few minutes away, but you are right. Where that was nothing but farmland for years and years and years, right? So like, especially if you look at Google Maps, every time you look at that now, it's going to be changing dramatically. So that's what's happening out there. So Marcia, this is a great share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love this. And I want to say hello to the viewers that popped in late. Y'all, if you are watching and you're popping in late, please feel free to bring questions. Be a member of our community. We love having you guys here. Don't hesitate. There are no bad questions. If you have deeper questions you want to get answered personally, please feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is on the screen. That phone number takes you to my cell phone right here. I promise you I'll get back to you. If you go to our website, you can literally schedule a time to meet with me. If you're on YouTube later, all of our emails in there and a direct link to my calendar so you can schedule a time that's convenient. That's number one. Number two, if you're getting value out of this, please do us a favor. Hit that like button and also don't hesitate to subscribe. That way you can be notified when we drop a new video about communities like this. Next week, I'm taking my butt out to Parrish and documenting where everything is with Sierra right now in that community so you guys will see it. We're going to take the drone out there. You guys will get a bird's eye view of what's happening in real time, and I'll try to keep you updated on that. So I think that's wonderful. Good evening, Fabian. I know he was dropping a comment there. I was covering Marcia's face, so I felt terrible. I had to pull that back off. But he says, hi, y'all. Happy finally to catch you live. We are happy you're here, my friend. Thank you for connecting with us. Oh, here's a good question. Got a couple of pool questions. How necessary is a pool cage for bug and debris? Also, how necessary is a heated pool? Great question, Jenna. Who wants to take it?
I would say a cage is extremely necessary. I've had a pool without a cage. Actually, both homes I lived in, we had pools without cages. And it is a lot more maintenance for the pool. So more work. And you have all the bugs, like love bug season. You got a lot more cleaning to do on the furniture and your lanai. I guess I feel like it's a necessity to have the cage for sure. Heat, not so much. Because in the winter, I take that back because I would want a spa because in the winter we like to get in the hot tub. So you need heat for that.
Yep. That's true. Marcia, what are your thoughts?
I'm definitely for the cage. I don't, it keeps the pool clean. It helps with the bugs. It's a buffer, like a sunscreen buffer. So you don't get burnt when you go out and, lay in the pool or sit in the pool. And we do not heat our pool. I recommend that you heat it. Like if you're a part-time Floridian, and you're just here during the winter months, I'd spend the money and do it. But we're fine not having it heated in the winter because we have the pool year round. So that's my feelings on that.
Yeah, I love it. Dennis, what about you?
Yeah, I think the same. I think I would have definitely a cage. Keep any kind of critters out of the pool. Mm-hmm. I lived in a house one time that had a pool and did not have a screen over the pool. And we looked out the window one day and there was a raccoon like running by our house. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right. So yeah, you know, you don't want to have a gator in your pool. I'm just kidding. We don't have that many gators in our pool, but yeah, I would say yes to the cage. And heated, I don't feel like it's a necessity. If you do have a spa, obviously, but like, I mean, you can probably do without the heat. If it like that wouldn't break it. If I found a house that didn't have heated pool, but it had a pool, I'd probably still go for it.
Yeah. This is awesome. I love this comment from Minnesota and swim in Lake Superior for reference. Jenna, you do not need
Well then,
I have been in that lake and that thing is not warm ever. And I don't mean just like sometimes, I mean ever. Lake Superior does not get warm, and she may tell you it gets warm, but I'm here to tell you as a 6-year Floridian now, that lake never gets warm.
None of the Great Lakes get warm.
No. Not even close. Lake Erie a little bit on the south side, but no way. Yeah, that's a great. I love that, Jenna. Yeah, I'm on the same page. We have a pool. I would never own a home and not put a cage over a pool home again. Just for reference, my father-in-law doesn't have one. Every time we go there, I was the one cleaning the pool, which was fair. We were getting to use it for free. Never any arguments out of my behind, but you had to skim it every day. There was extra stuff inside of the actual skimmer that ran all the time. Just didn't make any sense. And there's other added benefits. The ultraviolet is not as harsh, so it gets hot in the summer in Florida, y'all. And when you go to the beach, you can get cooked quick, and we can stay out on the pool deck 3-4 hours and barely get any real color on our skin versus an hour at the beach when you can get toasted. So it's like wearing extra clothes, but having the sun. So that's an added benefit. It keeps it cooler. The bugs are another thing there. And ultimately it's just less stuff in the pool. I think it makes sense. Now, what I will say is this: there are people who end up putting in bird cages, and for whatever reason, they keep the height low. What I will say is this: don't let anybody talk you into that. Our clients don't like it from a resale perspective. It's no different than walking into a home with, if you go into houses, one of them's got an 8-foot roof and the other one's got, or a ceiling, and the other one's got an 11-foot ceiling. Everyone loves the home with the 11-foot ceiling, right? So with the bird cage, make sure you either get it vaulted or you get it up out of the way. That way it doesn't feel like it's enclosed on you. So that's my only advice there for anybody who's listening and maybe considering doing it. It's not worth saving the extra bucks, whatever trust me, it'll and that when they're flat like that too, the bird cage collects all the junk and then it gets really messy up there.
Yeah.
So, you definitely want to have it vaulted in some way, shape, or form. It stays a lot cleaner. It's just a better deal all the way around. So great question, by the way. Great question. Okay.
Yeah, I would say too, one more thing about that, the water temperature. The water temperature will not get as hot if you have a screen as it does if you don't. So then, August gets here and your water is like a bathtub. You don't want to go in the pool anymore because it's too hot. So think about that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Great points. You guys bringing the heat tonight. I love it. All right. Rowena says, we're looking at new builds, hopefully to move in May or June. How early should we make in contact with new home builders and getting pre-approvals? So Rowena, you should be making contact with us because we're the conduit to get you through that. But you can absolutely go directly to the builders. But honestly, you should reach out to the team. These guys are dialed in. But depending on what type of home you're going to build, if you're going to do a production build, they're moving very quickly. There's different phases. They have quick move-in readies. You're hearing it tonight where they've got properties available in the next month or two. If you're going to contract build, meaning that they just released the property for sale, or you're buying a piece of land and then they're going to start building it, that process on the short end is usually 6 months, and it could go as long as 18 months, depending on how much customization you do to the home. If you go full custom, you could easily be 18 months to 36 months, depending on how far you go on that. There's a lot to it. So just depends on what type of construction you're going with, semi-custom, custom, or like I said, production building. If you have more questions, Rowena, please feel free to reach out to us. But the window at worst, if you're looking to move late May, early June, you want to have your ducks in a row no later than January.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And can I add to that one? The pre-approval is the most important part. Months and months before you even start looking at homes. The clients that were here this weekend, he was telling me he always thought he had such excellent credit because he didn't have a lot of credit. But when he called the Shannon, our lender, she was telling him, you know, that's kind of works against you. You want to have a certain amount of credit to have what they call good credit.
Yep.
So it's important to talk to a lender that can help you get set up. So when you're going to purchase, you have the best credit possible, not because you didn't pay your credit on time, but because you have the right amount of credit. So
yeah, it is
that's important.
It's such a, that's one of those complicated things you got to kind of navigate, but yeah, here to help. You have, like I said, if you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help. So I love that. All right. B Shawi said, and hopefully I pronounced that correctly, says, are my options really limited if I want to build new close to downtown Tampa? Oh, that's a great question. Yes and no. If you want a production build or you know, a builder like we're showing you today, not many of them build in downtown Tampa, but you can get semi-custom or custom builds in areas like New Tampa that are literally 10 minutes north of downtown. You know, an area like Seminole Heights, that's an area that has those. The Channelside district over there is building new townhome. I'm sorry. There's apartments and condos that are over there. It just really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So if you want a single family home, you got to go a little bit north of there. You can also go to areas like Apollo Beach. There are homes by West Bay. There's a big community out there. Marsha, what's that community out there that's not too far?
In Apollo Beach.
Yeah. What's the name?
Waterset?
Yes.
Waterset.
Good job.
You've got areas like Riverview and Brandon that are 25 to 35 minutes away, depending on where you live in that area, that do have these types of builders, you know, Taylor Morrison, D.R. Horton. Those are options for you as well. It just depends on where you're trying to be. If you really want to be downtown, you're going to be semi-custom, full custom kind of build outs. All right. So just kind of heads up on that. And it'll be a lot of scrape and builds. And for anyone who's not familiar with that term, they're buying an old home, tearing it down, and then putting a new one on top of that. So it's not always the least expensive option, just in terms of you know, making the purchase. Jenna laughed. She said, "Great info. Thank you're welcome. Appreciate it." And Rowena said, "Thanks. We will reach out." Well, Rowena, thank you. We appreciate it, and we're happy to serve. And y'all, if you do want to go deeper on new construction or resale or the condo market or whatever it is when it comes to relocating to the area or buying a, you know, an investment property or a vacation home here in the greater Tampa Bay area, do not hesitate to reach out to me and the team. These people love to serve, let me tell you. I have been blessed beyond my wildest dreams, you know, because of YouTube and also because of this team. These incredible individuals all have amazing servant hearts. And I mean, you can tell by the community that still shows up after they've sold them homes, by the way, hanging out with you guys, sharing with you about their experience. And we're so grateful for the opportunity. So if you do have more questions, please feel free to reach out. We're not the hard push team here. We love to serve, and we're grateful for the opportunity, and we get to do this. We don't have to, we get to. And we are completely honored by that. And y'all, we love hanging out with you on Tuesday nights. We will be back next Tuesday. This weekend, I think we have 2 videos coming out this weekend, FYI. One of them is about the best time to buy a home. I'm really excited. I'm sitting on all that tonight. I wanted to share it so bad, but we'll touch on that next Tuesday because it's important stuff to note. We also have a home tour of like a $2.8 million New Tampa stunner. It's gorgeous. So we're going to get that out this weekend as well. And y'all, we love connecting with you. If you're not following us already, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell so you can be notified when we drop those videos. We love serving y'all. Any final words before we kick out of here tonight?
Oh, a lot of great questions tonight.
Yeah. It makes it really fun when people are asking us questions.
Keep bringing them. And feel free to
put
them in
30 minutes talking about bugs.
I know. You should see the comments, man. You should see the comments in these live streams afterwards. Like, you guys take too long to get to the point. That tells me that they don't hang out with us, number one. Number two, that they never get past the first 5 seconds, which I know. Like, but this is the live stream. We're here to connect with the community. We love doing this, right? We love doing this. So, our Saturday videos are all, as streamlined to the point as we could possibly get them, but we love connecting with you guys in that way. So I love it. All right. We got a couple more questions and then we're going to bug out of here. Jenna says, from the point of view from a seller, what upgrades are worth the ROI when selling in this current market? Great specificity there. I love that. I've seen some homes with great updates, but they don't get their money back in resale. Yeah. It is not a dollar for dollar exchange on a lot of things. So Jenna, before we make the mistake of telling you what's important where you live, I think it's best if you have an agent that you trust, I would reach out to them. If you don't, reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you with, we have a huge network of agents because of this YouTube channel. Get you to somebody who can actually give you sound advice there. I mean, we can give you the general stuff, which is, kitchens and bathrooms will always wow people. Is that a dollar per dollar exchange? Most likely not. The things I know about up north for us was, a huge improvement for people in the Midwest is typically a beautiful fireplace. Some of the homes, ladies, you remember the homes that were built in the 90s? They all had the ceramic surround on the fireplace. For $3,000, we could hire a company to come in and do cultured stone from floor to ceiling. And people would walk in the door and they'd be like, oh my God, we love the way that this makes us feel. And I'm just sharing that with you, Jenna, because we always did that with our clients. We would always get them to upgrade that fireplace surround. So if that's something you have, beautiful landscape, I don't know that that's appropriate this time of year for you. That's always a less expensive route to go. And again, I'm giving you some generalizations here because, again, we don't know your specific market because there may be nuances based upon where you guys are that are important to people that we don't understand. So again, I always want to give sound advice, not just any advice.
I have a pointer I'd like to share. With I think this would be appropriate anywhere, is a stager. And you don't have to, if your furniture is in the house, you can leave it, but have a stager come over and offer advice. It makes such a huge difference. People are used to HGTV and Instagram. And if they walk into a house and it hasn't been staged, it's over. It's amazing. I had 2 gentlemen last week and they were the same way. They were like, they didn't even, make it look nice. It just makes such a difference if you walk into a house and it's been staged, to make it feel homey and inviting and pretty. Everybody wants that nowadays. So that's my advice.
Oh, she said she's local. Oh, I love that. All right. That was, I was unaware. I was making the connect. Well, she said Minnesota earlier. So I was making the connection there. She owns a property in Florida. Great question. So landscape, absolute landscape here. People want to be at the curb. We want to be wild, right? So we're in the land of subtropical. You really want to hit people before we pull up too many times to resale properties and the yard's a hot wreck. That already puts people off in a bad way. Make sure your driveways are clean. If you have a stone roof, please clean them. Marsha, how many times have you been to a dirty terracotta roof? It's gross, right?
Yeah, it is.
So paint around the exterior. If you got stucco, make sure that that's clean and upkept. Floors is the easy one. I think, Jenna, a lot of the Florida homes have that old 18 by 18 white porcelain tile. That's way out of date. People hate that. So if you don't have it, you're already to the good. But if you do, a nice vinyl plank over that looks great at this point. And then painting cabinetry, that is a good option in terms of money saver. That'll get you a lot closer to getting your money back. People do want white and clean. And right now, lastly, stay away from grayish. Grayish is out. People don't want to see any more gray. We're moving back to warmer tones in general. And that's here as well. So hopefully that gives you some insights on that. And
something you taught me, Juan, all the same light bulbs, same color. It's amazing what a difference that makes.
Yep. And what Marsha's referring to is daylight. It's terrible to live in, but incredible for home buyers. It literally does put people in a buying mood when you have a daylight, all the lights match in the same color and they're all on the daylight spectrum. So that's another easy way. Cost you a couple $100 to make people feel really good as opposed to thousands. So I love that. All right. We got another comment here. It says, hey, Marcia and crew from Portland, Oregon. Shout out to Portland all the way on the other side. Thanks so much for introducing us to Parrish in late July. It was a great experience. We can't wait to come down there in the future. Awesome.
They were an awesome family. Some of the family wants to move. Some of the family's not ready to move. So it's hard for them, but Florida's hoping you come soon.
Absolutely. Shout out to Denise, by the way, who gave us an incredible 5-star review on Google. Thank you, Denise. And huge props to Stacy. She really made this happen. And what Denise is referring to is I connected her with an incredible real estate agent I know from the DC area, who honestly, Juan is just an absolute rock star. And she helped Denise sell her home, and they did a bang up job down there. And I hope her review is as good as mine. Because you gave us such a great review, Denise. You make me feel so good. We love you. You're amazing. We appreciate you. I love that. All right.
You, Denise.
What's that?
I said thank you, Denise.
Absolutely, man. That's great. All right. Living in South Atlanta, Georgia says, if you get all cute on the first date, it's the same thing with offering a home sale. I agree. That was a great comment. That's a great comment. Okay, y'all, any final words before we sign off for real this time?
Just thank you.
Yeah.
It was fun. Very fun.
Absolutely. You guys are the best audience. Thank you so much for showing up with us and being an outstanding member of our community. We love each and every one of you. And as always, y'all, go out
and live that
Tampa life.
Live that Tampa life. We'll see you on the flip side. Have a great evening. God bless.